I'm an electrical engineer by trade. Um, being electrically minded has been something in my family. Both my father and grandfather were electricians. I grew up in New York, and I moved to Indianapolis when I was a teenager. Kind of got my start in the Midwest. Went to school at Purdue, and moved around a few times. I'm really passionate about kind of being green. I do a lot of small project at my home, trying to reduce my consumption, and just really like electric vehicles. I think they're kind of the future overall. My current job and career path has me that way, and very happy where I am. But I believe that I could have a larger impact, and so that's probably one of the reasons why I am applying here at Workhorse. I currently have about 2 years of experience with electric vehicles, directly working with them and their charging systems. I'm mostly used on the ESS side, so mostly the battery side, the charging side, and the drivetrain, as well as some interfacing with safety systems, interlocking, as well as communications, both wirelessly and through 1772 and J3105 are the main standards that we use for charging. In my personal life, I drive a hybrid, so I do understand kind of the day-to-day differences between just driving a regular ICE vehicle and a normal one. I believe that delivery vans and kind of that under 200-mile range a day is that sweet spot for electric vehicles. I think that's going to be the probably the next market that completely goes, or the first market that completely goes electric at a profitable and successful way. For diagnostics, we currently use NexIQ or Nexic, and as well as Vansco. Both these devices utilize different systems and diagnose different systems on the bus. So one would diagnose kind of the ladder logic on the bus, and we can go through there, check different flags, and see the overall status of the bus. And as we go through testing and through commissioning processes of charging systems, we would use that Nexic device. We also use some other devices, such as a Combox, where we could pull logs. We could check vehicle to grid messaging, as well as just overall messages on the J1772 data protocol. When we go deeper, sometimes we could integrate with the battery management system, the statistics and the logs there, and see if there's anything wrong there as well. Other kinds of electrical tooling is just overall electrical measurement equipment, so handheld multimeters, small scopes, things that you would see in kind of a portable lab situation. I'm currently open for traveling. I currently travel throughout North America. I would say my target for travel is about 20%, including some overnight, which I'm comfortable with. Definitely not something that I am not accustomed to. I did quite a bit of traveling with Corning, and it was mostly international traveling. So I anticipate that there would be some travel with this job, whether it's meeting vendors, performing factory acceptance testing, or commissioning of new fleets. I understand this is a salary position with in a smaller company, and so I imagine that during certain launch phases, the team will be requiring me to work a bit more, and that may include weekend work, late nights, whatever it took to kind of launch a product and get over kind of a hump, or whether we're still in development, so pre-launch. Those are things that I experience now, and fully anticipate that it will be kind of a give and take relationship, and there will be times of crunch, so to say. So the answer is yes. My electrical troubleshooting experience is quite vast. So it probably all started probably at home, working with my father, and then also when I was in the military in the Air Force, working on electronics there, where still have my certification. I also worked in a laboratory for metrology, so I did most of the electrical troubleshooting there for electrical lab equipment, mostly potentiometers, iPots, big multimeters, voltage generators, signal generators, custom aeronautic equipment. So I was there for 4 years. I do a lot of my own troubleshooting on my own cars and my family's cars. And I currently work in the automotive field and do troubleshooting there with buses and chargers in my day job. So definitely not something I shy around. I do troubleshooting at home at in my own house and my family. So I'm definitely that guy that is called upon. I am currently leading a team through the product design and deployment of the very first 600 kilowatt vehicle chargers here in North America, and the first ones in the world that go to 1,000-volt output. So on that team, not only do I have the charger design team integrated, which is a second party, not directly New Flyer. I also have the engineering team that will look into installing it and installing it at that specific site, which is Los Angeles. And then I also have the construction team, which answers to me. So I see a complete cradle to grave design, as well as the integration and eventual launch. So the product design definitely took quite a bit of time, and as we implemented the engineering and actually went into construction, certain things in the design did have to be changed and redlined and sent back to engineering, eventually sent back to the vendor to be incorporated in the latest design. So it was very neat to see all those teams working together, directing them, and hopefully we'll have the finished product launched, currently charging out there in Los Angeles right now, and we'll have the final product documents in the final package probably by next month. So looking forward to it. Currently I work on a small team, and when I joined we only had a handful of members, and so we kind of did a bit of everything. Everyone had multiple roles and had multiple hats to wear. I believe that setting the department standard was first set within myself, and I kind of set my own standard. I worked to a certain level and showed what results could be driven from that. And when I talked to my peers, and then some actually ended up to be reporting to me, I would use those instances as kind of the standards. I understand some people may perform at different levels or have different abilities than I would, and so I would work individually with those people to set certain standards. Overall, we try to maintain business objectives, which then would be driven down to our department, and then subsections, and so having each person accountable not only to the department but also to the entire business as a whole would be the goal there. And holding these people accountable, I think, almost goes hand in hand because because each individual sets their own standards, and so we're trying to meet their goals, and they're answering to their own kind of bar of performance, and so it's a good feedback loop, and there's always room for improvement and tweaking of those goals, and typically have very good results that way. I have a very direct management style. I like to work hands-on with my guys. I like to be involved in what they're doing, but I also understand that micromanagement can sometimes be suffocating. So I do let them do their own thing, and they would report back to me on whichever actions we set out when we're working together. I like to place people and my direct reports in a way that they can kind of test out their own skills and kind of see if they could fly out of the nest. And if they don't, we revisit it and see what went right, what went wrong. And typically, if you allow people to shine and challenge themselves and reach up to maybe that next level, I get the best results. I typically find that they can fly and they're fine. And if not, we revisit it. Maybe it's a bad fit for that particular assignment, or maybe there was a loss of communication. There's lots of different things that we could do to adjust and reassign work to individuals that they seem to like. Most people in this field are very passionate and excited about it and have no issues working 40, 50, 60 hours and really putting their heart into this. And so just finding where they fit in is definitely something that we work together on. I'm definitely comfortable working in an extremely fast-paced and adaptive environment. I would say that's one of my strong suits, is being able to be mendable and kind of change directions on the fly. Things are always changing in this industry. In my particular industry, we are always kind of, we have bus deliveries, we have charger deliveries, we have customer expectations. Recently with COVID, a lot of these customers, their funding was shifted or their operations were severely limited, and we found that they would maybe want, for instance, a delivery in Q2, and now that's changed to Q4, and so changing all the resources, bus manufacturing, engineering, construction, as well as all the second-party vendors, charger manufacturers, shipping, logistics, had to be very flexible. And sometimes things just happen. Trucks break down, tests fail in the factory, and maintaining that adaptation and be able to think on the fly instead of kind of pointing out what was wrong, and instead of focusing on how we could learn and grow and deliver something quickly was the priority. Looking back at the lessons learned is definitely always something to do. See where the faults happened, if deliveries were missed or tests failed. Definitely something to pick up afterwards, but I think delivering to a customer was always and should be the priority there. I like saying I like being outdoors. Once COVID kind of get back into it, I like martial arts, so I would like to join a gym and maybe do jiu-jitsu and maybe some kickboxing or Muay Thai boxing. Not only keeps me fit, but keeps my mind engaged. I think I'm going to start picking up chess A few of my cousins have started picking it back up now with COVID, and so I think we're going to see some challenges there. I like to cook. I try all sorts of different cuisines. Some of my international experience brought me all sorts of different interests and different flavors that I like to enjoy. I like traveling. I like seeing all sorts of different parts of the U.S., North America. I think next year, if things kind of let up, we've been planning to travel to Europe and visit continental Europe and possibly Northern Africa. So I'm also another interest. I like day trading, and so I've been following Workhorse for quite a while. You guys have been very successful. I've definitely enjoyed being a owner of you before, and look forward to learning more about Workhorse and possibly working together.